guys. Any questions?
All right, any questions?
Trayvon is kind of quietly on pace to have 1,000-yard season. Can you just kind of talk about what he's really brought to this offense this year?
Well, he's number one. I think he can do all three things a back needs to do. He can run well, he blocks well, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. The other thing he does really well, he takes care of the football. I think he's had one fumble. We recovered it though, thank goodness. So I've been very pleased with Trayvon. I've been pleased with the way he has meshed with the team and the team attitude he's had, and how hard he's played, and how hard he's run. And it's been a privilege having him and coaching him. And he's doing real well in grad school. I think he made an A in his first grad class. So he's kind of doing everything you would expect right. He's been a model guy. So it's been awesome having him.
You haven't really used a whole lot of. You haven't had a lot of grad transfers in your career.
No, we haven't had any.
Yeah.
We had the one that didn't work out, which was kind of a blessing in disguise, and then his situation worked out really well. And I background checked him pretty well, and you know, he searched us out. Y'all know the whole story is really weird, and so I'm glad he did, and it's been a great fit for him, and it's been a great fit for us.
So with that, I mean, Kyle obviously is a senior as well. How's the development of some of those younger backs? Guys are going to have to step in next year that have a lot of experience.
Fontenot is getting better and better and better all the time. And he's getting bigger and stronger. He's powerful. We're excited about him. You know, Bo has been doing a good job. You know, he's been beat up a little bit the last couple games. So we feel good about the young guys. Both of Jarrett Broussard and Deion Smith both had knee injuries their senior years in high school and didn't finish their seasons. And so they were kind of soaking. But these last 6 weeks, they've looked really good, and they've been in the weight room 4 days a week, and they've been out at practice and going to scout team, and then every Wednesday, all the guys, young guys, we have practice with them after practice, and they've been looking really good there, and I'm excited about those two guys.
Any particular players in that young group when you're working with them that have flashed this fall?
Oh shoot! They've all made improvement as it's going along. The good thing about it is we're able to get them in the weight room 4 days a week. Then they're practicing, and they're getting bigger and stronger. They're eating awesome here the way we feed them. So all of them put on weight, good weight, and it's been exciting watching those guys improve.
With a guy like Minshew, who they've only been up 7 sacks, do you just have to keep him in the pocket and force him to throw early and not count on sacks and try and get him to get the ball out of his hands as quick as possible?
You know, like I said, I think their offense is really good, but I think their offensive line's really improved. You know, in the past they gave up quite a few sacks. And, you know, Mike Leach's theory, I heard him talk, and he might correct me if I'm wrong, but he kind of says sometimes you take sacks for touchdowns in his theory of thinking. But their offensive line is so good. And then Minshew is able to move around and stay alive in the pocket a little bit better. But it also looks like to me he just has a total grasp of the offense. And he'll throw it away at certain times. And he throws it away out of the pocket, which is really supposed to be a penalty, but he knows where the guy is, so he throws it over that guy's head, which is interesting. I mean, that shows great intelligence on his part. So it's not intentional grounding. It would be if there was nobody there, but he knows what he's doing. So I've been impressed with him. Yeah, you're not gonna get to him too often, but you also want him to feel a little pressure, so he doesn't feel like he can sit back there all day. So there's a difference in that.
Trying to get him out of his hands as early
Yeah,
as
we
possible.
want to try to do that, and want to make him have to move his feet some, and that type of thing.
Max Borghi was a kid that was committed to you guys
Yeah.
for a little bit. Ends up going to Washington State. Are you surprised at all with the impact he's had this
No,
early?
I thought Max was a heck of a player. I always have. You know, we offered him really early. He was committed to us, and then he changed his mind, and that happens in the recruiting world. And he's a really good player. He fits in really well to their system because he can catch the ball in the backfield. He's good in open space. I'm so happy that his knee is completely healthy and he's able to go, because it kind of messed up his whole senior year. And he's a really good kid. He's doing a great job for them. I knew wherever he went, he would be a good football player. I was hoping he'd come here, but he decided not to. So he's a good football player. He's a really good kid.
You mentioned that your medical staff is kind of on the cutting edge with the concussion protocol stuff. How does that whole process work?
Well, I don't know every detail of it because I do not get involved in it at all, because I don't want them to have any influence as a head coach on that. I let them handle every bit of it. But we go through a phase that when they get rid of certain symptoms, like headache, and you know, they test them on these. They have a baseline testing system that they do on computer, but they also have baseline testing, they have like this apparatus they put on their head. So there's baselines. Once they reach the baseline, then they move on to the next phase where they would, what they call impact. They would run them, they would do all those physical activities, and after that, if they came back and didn't have any more concussion-like symptoms, then they move on to the next phase where they can practice a little bit without contact, and if they go through that good, then they can have contact in place. So it's a bunch of steps that the doctors and the trainers tell me. So-and-so's in this stage now, if he passes this stage. So sometimes a guy go to stage 1, pass it, stage 2, pass it, stage 3, pass it, and be ready to roll. Sometimes they go past stage 1, and then they get bogged down in stage 2. So that's why y'all ask me. I said, well, it's day to day. I don't know. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't until they release them to me.
When one of the people in concussion protocol is your son,
Yep.
Is your wife's voice another one that's in your ear about that situation, about whether he comes back?
Well, she trusts what the whole process they're doing, and know what they do, and know how we treat all of them. And, of course, she is a mom, but she'll ask me what's going on, and I said, well, you need to talk to Dr. Podar and Adam Holiday. And they keep us up to date on them. So he goes through the exact same protocol they go through. Yeah, but we have learned more about it than I would like to know. She has.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You said after the game, you had some comments after the game this past week. You were still happy with the fight of the team. Didn't feel like negativity was seeping in at all. As you've gotten into practice this week, I mean, you still feel that way? Still,
yeah,
like
I do.
the
I
attitude
definitely
of the
still
guys?
feel that way. There's a, you can work maybe without being as happy because you've lost. And I see that work ethic. I mean, if they're just goofing off out there and still good, I go, well, wait a minute. I kind of, I think you know what I'm saying. But I've seen a good work ethic. I've seen them holding each other accountable. I've seen them showing up to everything. When we have our weightlifting on Monday mornings, kind of a telltale sign to me. We lift and meet. And Coach Wilson has always come back. They're working hard. They want to do more. They're focused in there. They're showing up right. All those type of things. When you start having stragglers and different things you're having to punish that are outside of that, that's when we haven't had any of that, which I shows they're holding each other accountable and believing in each other, and that hopefully that'll show up on Saturday. And when you get a win, there's a little bit more pep to your step. That's just the way life is on anything. If Brian goes fishing, he doesn't catch any fish. He's glad he went fishing, but I want to catch some fish. It's the same feeling, if that makes sense.
He caught one in Seattle.
Oh, you did? All right. What'd you catch?
Squid, actually.
A squid. Oh, wow. Does that count?
I think so. I'm counting it.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.